Welcome back everybody to a brand new video, and today we're going to be discussing Melee and Ultimate once again. About 4 months ago, I created a video called Will Ultimate Kill Melee? And consider this a follow-up video. In this video, I'm going to be going over various topics and events that have happened in these communities, as well as the whole Evo situation going on with Melee. And I just want to point out, this is all how I feel. This is my opinion on this whole situation with Ultimate and Melee being these two games existing, and maybe one taking more of the spotlight than the other, and what I think is actually happening. So to dive right into things and answer your question immediately, do I think Ultimate is killing Melee? For the most part, no. But I do have this slight hint of it doing so because of the whole Evo situation. Now, I'm gonna say this, I don't think Melee technically needs Evo in order to survive as an existing game, but Evo is still a really big thing for fighting games, and it really promotes Melee and just Smash in general, with, you know, it being at Evo. And because Smash Ultimate is going to be the only Smash game in a long time being at Evo, it's going to have all of the attention on Ultimate rather than Melee. And honestly, Evo has really high views and, you know, live watchers during Twitch, and it gains a lot of traction for the games. And Melee not having that this year will be a big detriment, I feel, to Melee. And if this continues to be a pattern and process, it can lead to Melee going downhill in the bigger eyes or the bigger picture, while Ultimate prospers because it's a newer game and because there's just so many characters and there's a lot of hype and a lot of people are coming together. And that's another point I'm going to be making. So one thing I want to say is, Melee players, they're always going to play Melee, but a lot of them have been putting a lot of focus and effort into playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on a competitive level. Like Mango, Leffen, Plup, all of these people and more. Mewtwo King, well, technically is a special case because he plays like every Smash game, and I don't think he is just a Melee person at this point. But a lot of these people I just previously mentioned have been putting a lot of focus in playing the game and streaming the game quite a lot. And especially Mango, he's a person on Twitch, you know, who's also just been streaming so much of Ultimate that it kind of overshadows him playing Melee these days, because Mango just putting his effort into Ultimate is so interesting to watch and is bringing a lot of attention to the game. And a lot of this is overshadowing Melee. Now, this is actually not a whole new situation at all. Every new Smash game that's come out after Melee has overshadowed Melee for a brief amount of time, but I feel like it's lasting a lot longer with Ultimate, especially with how things are these days and how streaming works, and how a lot of these Melee personalities are streaming the game and just playing the game a lot more. And honestly, I haven't seen them this dedicated to any other Smash game beforehand. A lot of Melee players straight up hated Smash 4, but find a lot of enjoyment in Ultimate, and that's driving them to play this game a lot more than Smash 4. Some players like Armada have never even touched Cloud in Smash 4, and he touched the character for the first time in Ultimate. I think this game to the Melee community just shows a lot of promise. And there's still going to be a ton of Melee players that aren't going to play Ultimate, but a lot of the big names investing their time in Ultimate brings a lot of the attention to Ultimate, especially with a lot of Melee players just shifting their focus entirely sometimes. Like, we have Leffen dropping out of Melee singles during a tournament to play Ultimate singles. And I'm kind of expecting Ultimate to keep its momentum with these content updates, these new characters, these patches. And if it does this, I feel like it will completely overshadow Melee for a pretty decent amount of time, especially with Melee not being at Evo. And if it doesn't come back to Evo for a long time, I feel like Ultimate's just going to keep growing and growing, and a lot of the attention will just be shifted towards Ultimate, especially with a lot of the players, because I feel like the bigger this game gets, the more money is going to be put into Ultimate, and more people are going to want to play that game instead. Now, I don't think Melee's ever going to just straight up die. It's just going to become less prominent over time. But the thing is with Melee, it has this trend of coming back with a lot of potential and a lot of crazy numbers out of nowhere, like the revival of Melee, which literally revived Melee. So now, I don't think Melee is necessarily dying, but it's definitely on a decline, but I don't think it's a decline to death. I think it's just a decline to a maybe non-permanent state. But honestly, no one really knows, because I will say one thing about the Melee community: they do have a pretty large voice, and the Melee community is still a pretty fun community. You know, Smash in general is just a fun community. Honestly, I'm just glad that we have these games in general, and that we can actually just enjoy these games in general. And both of these games, Ultimate and Melee, I love both of these games, and honestly, I just want to see them both do good. But I think this is just how things are going to play out because of how big Ultimate is getting, and I just can't wait to see more happen with these games and see what's in the future for Ultimate as well. And also can't wait for that Joker DLC. That's gonna be crazy. But anyways, that's all for me today, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And I mentioned Joker at the end, so be on the lookout for the next video. It might include that Phantom Thief. But anyways, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.